everybody. Welcome back to Just Plain Crazy. It's Brennan. Thanks for joining me again for another episode. We are continuing with the painting series of the 47% EMHW Pit Special. This is part 2, so if you missed part 1, go looking for that over there on my YouTube channel. Anyway, as we go through this, some tips and tricks for you guys, especially dealing with different types of clear coat and how to make your lines symmetrical. So hope you guys enjoy it, and thanks again for joining me. So as we go to mask off the top wing, we're laying out the pattern. And one of the things that you have to do is do some trimming. So you don't want to take your razor blade and cut down into the fabric. I want to lay it where I want it. And hold it there. And then I want to peel the tape up to the razor blade. Think of that. So one of the most nerve-wracking things is to laying all of this out to make sure it's symmetrical, because it is visible from up top more so than the bottom wing. So one of the things I did from the center line here, just use this piece of tape as like a push guide, but you can go from the center line, so that point starts there, and I have a reference mark, and this one starts there, so you know, and then you can slide it up the string here if you need to. And then you can go, okay, so there's that point, and then as you come over, there's that point, so you can make sure things are the same. So let's get this taped off for paint. All right, guys, we're going to start on the horizontals. And before we do, we're going to change things up here a little bit. Let me show you something. So I've been working on the wings, uppers and lowers. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. See that mark right around the purple? You can almost see it if I take the light across and I'm just trying to create an angle for you. Yeah, you can see it like right there around the purple. But anyway, what that is that's a tape mark from the Precision tape. Now this stuff's really nice and flexible to be able to outline, and it gives you super clean and crisp lines. Like, they look really good. But the problem is, no matter what I do, I can't get rid of that mark. After I push that stuff into the fabric and let it, it leaves marks in the silver base coat. So I'm making a shift. Instead of doing purple all at once and black all at once, I'm going to do just one piece at a time. And I'm going to use this stuff called Tessa tape. Now, my buddy Perry Fanu, good friend of mine, met him through social media, guys got a lot of knowledge to share, but he said, hey, try this tape. And I've had good luck. Now, the lines aren't quite as crisp as here. They're still good, but I don't get all of this left over in the paint. So this stuff, when you clear coat it, just pops out. So I'm going to, and you can't sand it. You can't like sand it and make it go away. You got to paint back over it. So anyway, I'm going to continue with the stabs, but this is all we're going to use, and we're going to see how that turns out. All right, so we're done with that one. Same result. We still have this much in here. What I noticed is that this mark is as wide as where I started the tape to then do the paper. You know what's going to work here, guys? If I double edge that tape. Whatever this tape is doing, it's because the paint's getting on it and it's activating the glue underneath it. So if I double tape this edge, I'm not going to have this problem. So I'm going to start double edging the paint lines. Let's do it. So here you can see I use the green fine line to get my clean lines back, more so than any of the other tape. But I ran this tape now all the way up to the very edge of the green, almost to protect it. So again, it's this with just regular tape over the top, and that'll help protect the tape underneath. So the right side is now completed, top and bottom, and all we did here is using, again, parchment paper. We've just gone ahead and we've made an overlay and a template of this side, and we did that flip on the other side. Now we're going to take this and we're going to apply that template onto the left side, and then that way we'll have stripes that match. Let's do it. All right, guys, it's time to start throwing down some clear coat and let there be lessons learned here. Let me share with you some of my challenges. So first things first, there is our upper wing assembly. Absolutely stunning. It's gorgeous. And the pattern replicates on the bottom of the top wing. The lower wing will have this pattern, but it will be checkers on the bottom. So obviously when it's flying, you could see the difference between top and bottom. But before we throw down the clear coat, let's talk about some stuff. Although I would say I would love this to be perfect, it is not. It has flaws or things in there that kind of bother me, but I can't do anything about it now. But we start to understand, like, any little imperfection will show its ugly head once there's paint on there. And really, some of this stuff, guys, I've been over so many times and it still pops up. So we're just gonna have to just deal with it. I mean, it's not going to be perfect when your face is right here, but from this far away it looks stunning. So don't anybody get close. All right, now let's talk about clear coat. So Test piece, so invaluable, guys. Do a test piece. There's so many things that I've done to this and tried on this. And here's the last one. This is the clear coat that I'm ultimately going to use. Why don't I use the initial clear coat? So the initial stuff that I was going to go with is right here. So Carb Rep 2K, all right, that's what I was going to use. Now I am going to use clear diamond finish, high performance, clear coat, rock hard, non-yellowing. What's the difference between 2K and 1K? You know the answer, 1K. No, seriously. So I'm not a paint guy, and I don't attest to be. This has an activator or a catalyst already in it. The nice part is that this provides an amazing clear coat. It is so good. And this stuff is dry to the touch almost instantly, and like you need just like 2 coats of this and a couple passes and you're good to go. This stuff is water-based. This is what I want to use in an aerosol can. I can't mix. I spray a little bit in the morning and a little bit in the evening, so I don't really have a lot of time to be mixing and pouring and spraying and cleaning. I need aerosol cans, right? So the 2K stuff is non-flexible. I found it out after I painted my first assembly, and it did this. So I'll let you listen closely. Did you hear it? That's what happens, and you can't see it. If you look at it, you can't see it. But if you hold it at the right angle, there it is. It's all spider webbed. You look at it straight on, you can't see it, but you get the sun just right, and you're like, oh my God, what's that? So here's a tip for you. If you've used the wrong clear coat, lacquer thinner guys will take it right off. Easy. Strip it right off and away you go. I had to repaint a couple pieces because I wanted to make sure I got it all off, and I took some of the paint off, so no big deal. I didn't have to recover it. But lesson learned. So now we went with the 1K. The difference is it's flexible. So let me show you what that is. On the other side is my 1K. Listen. Absolutely nothing. It's flexible because it has a flex agent to it. That other stuff didn't. So if you want to use 2K, great. Make sure it has a flex agent. Stuff like they use on bumpers, on cars. That stuff is 1K for me is water-based. It will take 48 hours to fully cure, but it remains flexible. So what does that really look like? Well, again, we have car samples. So if I take this car sample and I flex it, hear it? See it? Look what happens. It breaks, just like that. Here is another tester with 1K. Nothing. I have some wrinkles in the paint there from testing, but again, nothing. And it's compatible with all my different colors. So, and it's pretty durable. So after a multitude of dollars spent, 1K is going to be where it's at. I also, keep in mind, this is a polyester-based paint from Stitz, polyfiber. So all their stuff is made to be compatible with itself, but I didn't use their paints because they have basic colors. I wanted colors with flake and glitter and everything else. So I used an automotive grade paint, and it was okay by itself, but the clear is where the problem came in. Now, I decided to try the polyfiber Stitz clear, and it reacted really quickly. So when it dried, anything that wasn't really firmly attached, it pulled up and wrinkled. Let me show you what that looks like. And here's what this looks like. Now this can be a combination of two things. Number one, this was primered and it was sanded. So two, it's a reaction with the paint because it's really, the clear is not made to work with polyester or poly products. And again, I'm no paint expert or chemical engineer, so I'm just telling you what I've learned. And the other thing is I could have sprayed it too close and got too much of the activator. So spacing is going to be important even with the 1K. So we don't have this. I made sure, again, test samples, that everything was good. So what we're going to do now is we're going to use 1K. We're going to spray this 8 to 10 inches away. And We're just going to make one light pass, and we're going to give it, I don't know, 30 seconds or a minute, just to make sure that it lays down and it doesn't react with any of my colors before we have problems. From there, then we're going to do 3 or 4 passes, wait 10 minutes, 3 or 4 passes. So I mean like 1 pass, 2 pass, 3 pass, 4 pass, and we're going to do that a total of 3 times. So you're going to make a total of 12 coats, if you will, because it goes on lighter. So that's what we're going to do. We have a beautiful night. The temperature is absolutely perfect and beautiful, so I like painting this stuff outside better than the booth. I have more space. The paint booth worked okay to get down the gray crap so it's not silver dust everywhere, and also the poly brush. But when it comes down to painting, I've definitely found that I like it better outside, and short of bugs, there's really no issues with doing so. So with that being said, that's the clear coat story. That's the paint story. We're ready to lay down the clear and bring this thing to life. Once the wings are done, the lower wings right now are just curing before we start to clear those. I have a couple things I want to touch up. The horizontals, we'll get to those. And then we're off to the fuselage, which should go fairly quickly now that we have everything narrowed down what we want to do. It's a learning process. There's a lot to it. I'm sharing it so you don't have to go school of hard knocks. I guess I like that. I don't know. Let's get to painting. And this is the after. Absolutely breathtaking. Looks amazing. I let mine cure for a total of 48 hours without touching it. Perfect. All right, guys, let's talk about graphics and putting stuff on the tail. So I got templates from none other than Cali Graphics, and she always does a phenomenal job for me, but she made me templates, and whatever this light blue, almost plasticky template material is, works great on a lot of things. The one thing it doesn't seem to work really good on for me is fabric, because what happens as soon as I hit it with the paint, anything that is able to get under the edge lifts the edge, and then I don't get clean lines. So the templates aren't going to work for me. She said she could print them out of vinyl, and I could lay the vinyl on and peel it off. And I said, before you do that, let me try something else. So I went back to what I've used before, which is Sure Tape. This is VP410. It's a PVC vinyl floor tape. And what I did is I took this template and left it like it is, and I cut out all the squares. I laid this down on a cutting mat, 4 strips of it, and short of my one little block that's freelance in here, what we're going to do is we lay this over the top like so. And then we just take a piece of this. So that way it's not moving around on us. And then we start to cut out the squares using a hobby knife. Now, the thing with this is, and I'm going to be completely okay with it, is that I can't cut every one of those to a connection where they fall out. So they're going to be kind of sweeping open checkers, and I'm okay with that. It's just going to be whatever it is. But then the PVC I can take and lay on my components and get it to get a good outline, paint it, and then be able to pull it off. Because although it is tacky, it's not super, super tacky. And if you use the baby powder trick as well, it'll lift. So let's get to trimming some of this out. All right, so this is how I am going to do this. One of the things that worried me is having one wheel pant that does not match the other one because things are at a different height. I've actually just laid this one out the way I wanted it, that I was happy with. I actually have my masking template so I can get an idea of where I'm going to go, but that really doesn't do you a whole lot of good. Ultimately what I did is I set my laser up so it's right on my point, and if I lay my other one up next to it, it shows me exactly where that point has to come to. Now for the back, to know where I start my silver stripe and come down, I can easily just put a measure up there. It'll show me where the black has to come to, and then I can just, off of that straight line, I can measure here exactly how far up that thing needs to be, just to make sure that they're symmetrical, so it looks as good as I can make it. But otherwise, that's how we're going to do this. It's time to get this one laid up. We've come along a good bit with all of our painted parts and our clear coat. That stuff just looks stunning, absolutely stunning. This thing in the sun is going to be a beast. So super excited. All we have to do yet is one more wheel pant and clear the last wing, and then we're off to wrapping up the fuselage. So this ought to be done in fairly short order. And right now it's the beginning of June, so I'm hoping to have this done by the end of June for our flying and have it made, and so we could fly it at the flying. But we'll see how that goes. Otherwise, let's get the time lapsing. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get our ailerons mounted in here. So basically these things are just going to slide back into place now that everything is cured. We have these rods. They do have that flat part to help them from pulling out. And then you kind of just bend this so it fits into the edge of the wing right there, and you could secure it then over with a piece of tape, or I'm going to use some canopy glue just to secure it in place. I'm going to slide the camera here just a little bit, and we're going to fish the wire through. It's going to go into our aileron, into that center support, and then we just have to keep finding the pathway going all the way in. I found that if you need to work it, instead of pushing on the wing and potentially breaking something, just turn it. And now this piece, this bent piece, if you guys can see that right there, this thing will just go. You just got to pull on it a little bit, and that tucks itself in to the groove we made during the build process, and now that's locked into place. And there we have our aileron. So let's take the hatch off. Now I think I've decided I'm going to paint match all the screws. You could have done them all like in a solid color, I guess, but I'm going to choose to paint match these things. So that way the black is the black, silver is the silver, purple is the purple. So I'll have to do some of that. And I know that they're not going to stay that way forever. Pop our cover off, take out our rag. Our servo comes up. And then the other thing that I'll do while I'm in here is we're going to fish up the wire for our aileron. There you go, guys, all finished up. Hopefully you see that glitter and shine and all the flake come through in the paint. This looks amazing. So the clear coat is diamond clear, it's gloss. So that's quite a few coats. I want to say the 3 coats, but it looks amazing. It's flexible, it's rock hard, it's not spongy, doesn't leave fingerprints or marks. It's exactly what I was looking for this aircraft. But otherwise, top wings are officially done. And there's our linkage. Let's flip over to the bottom. There's our linkage. How awesome. Turned out amazing. So happy with it. Everybody, that wraps up this portion of the build on the EMHW 47% Pit Special. Thanks for joining me. I hope this helps you if you're building one of these, or maybe it entices you guys to dive into a wood kit also. So it is Brendan here at Just Plain Crazy. You're Just Plain Crazy for always hanging out and watching. Do me a favor, smash that like button. It helps us out a lot. Subscribe and ding that bell notification and set it to always so you're always made aware of our cool content. Don't forget to check us out on the official Facebook and Instagram Just Plain Crazy pages. With that being said, links down in the description below where I pick this stuff up. But I wish you guys happy flights. Peace out.